Okay, so B'Shem Hashem Na'aseh V'Natzliach. Shalom everyone. We are in the Midah of Emet, and in the Midah of Emet, this is something that we need to recognize. That there are those little acts that count. You know, people try to look away from the little things, but it's very interesting. We are this Shabbat is Parashat Vayechi. Next Shabbat, we Be'ezrat Hashem will start Shabbat Parashat Shemot, and there we have Melech Mitzrayim says to the midwives, to the Hebrew midwives, the name of one of them was Shifra, the name of the other is Pu'ah, right? And he gives them the command of killing all the newborn boys in the Jewish nation. And we know what they did. You know, they not only didn't kill them, they took care of them. They helped them. They did everything in their power to make sure they live and they're fine. Our Chachamim say that these names mentioned are not really their true names of these ladies, of these very important ladies. It says Shifra zu Yochevet. Shifra is Yochevet. Why? Al Shem shemeshaperet et hayeled. Because she beautifies and she perfects the child. Upu'ah zu Miriam. Pu'ah is Miriam, because Pu'ah umdaberet v'hugal avlat. Because she coos and she calms and she sings for the baby, like the ladies do. They want to calm a little baby that's crying down, and this is what Yocheved and Miriam were doing. And the Torah refers to him as Shifra Upu'ah, right? But when you come to think of it, these Nashim Tzadkaniot, these two women that were practically, they were Neviot, they were prophetess, and this is what you pick on? You know, how they treated little babies? This is the name that the Torah chooses to give them? Say Ba'alei Musar that people like to think that the greatness of a person is in big things, big acts, right? And you read about the Gedolim. Yes, this Gadol, he finished Shas in 1 week, and this other Gadol saved hundreds and thousands of Jews in the Holocaust, or this and that, like, you know, huge things, big events. And that's why we make mistakes, and we gauge the Gedolim based on the immense actions that they take, you know, supernatural miracles that they perform. But the truth is, those little acts, those little things that we ignore, like, you know, how they treat their household, how they make barachot, how, like, you know, they give tzedakah, little things people don't pay attention to, and that's a big mistake. It's the other way around, right? The big things many times are easier to do because secharo betzido, you know, as they say. A person gets rewarded because everybody's going to respect you, and you yourself think you're great because you're doing those big, huge things. But the little things, to do the right thing, to do it modestly, and to do it with the emet, time after time, person might make a mistake and think, no big deal. But the truth is, those are the actions that show a person's greatness. This is how you see how much this person is an Oved Hashem. And that is what the Torah comes to teach us with the names of Shifra and Pu'ah, to show us, yes, as great as they were, that love, that mercy, and how they treated those little newborn babies, that shows their greatness. The greatness of a person is measured. It shows how perfect the person is, how good the person is in their midot. This is how you measure the greatness. Someone that people think he's a gadol because he does all those big things, but when it comes to those little things, he's not that perfect, and that's not a gadol. On the other hand, you have people that there are people who don't think that they're gedolim, but you see that they're so good in their midot, so good in those small acts. In Yiddish they call it kleinigkeits, right? Klein means small, right? Ketanim, these little things that a person does, that shows the greatness of the person. That's where you see that this person is great. You read books, stories about Gedolim, how they were so sensitive even for little kids, and people are impressed. They're like, wow, they're wowed by that. What's there to wow? This is what makes them a gadol. That is what. It's not a chidush. It's not something novel. This is the definition of a gadol. That is what makes him who he is. How he cares about that little child crying in the corner over there. I'm sure you all read stories like here and there about Gedolim, how they cared about these things. This is how it is. Opposite. If he's missing that, then he's not a gadol. Right? That's what shows that he's a gadol. To care about that little guy, to pay attention to him and to take care of him. Now, a person by nature is easier for them to do things that they don't have to do, as opposed to things that they have to do. If you make someone do something, they'll have a harder time to do it. But if you don't make them do it, they'll do it easier. There's two reasons for it. One, naturally, a person does not like to be forced. No one likes to be forced to do something. So if I tell them, hey, go do the dishes, right? They don't like to do it. They won't listen to you. But if they do it on their own, then perfect. This is how it is. And there's another reason, even deeper reason. That is that a person does not get satisfaction, right? When he does something that he's forced to do, that he has to do. A person thinks that he's doing better, he's doing more, when he does something that he wasn't asked to do, he wasn't forced to do, right? Because he thinks this is more precious. When I do something without them asking me to do, that's more precious. Right? That's more valuable. The truth is, and it's exactly the opposite. The truth is exactly the opposite. Our Chachamim teach us in Masechet Kiddushin, Gadol hametzuveh ve'oseh, mimi she'eino metzuveh ve'oseh. A person who is commanded and he does it, he is greater than a person that is not commanded and he does. That means a person that is obligated to do a certain mitzvah and he does it, he is greater than a person that is not obligated to do a mitzvah and he does it. Why? Like we said, he's breaking his midot when he does it. He's accepting Hashem's being master over him, and he's listening to Hashem. That's an eved. That's greater. That's much greater than a person that is not commanded to do something and he still does it. Why? Because he thinks this is the right thing. That's not an eved. That's not someone who is close to Hashem. Examples. People give tzedakah. Right? People give tzedakah. A lot of people give tzedakah. But at the same time, they haven't paid their own personal debts. They owe this guy $100, they owe this guy $50. No, I'm so great, I'm giving tzedakah. Hello, you owe people money. Go take care of that. That comes first, right? Something that you have to do, something that is on your shoulder to do, that comes first. You have to take care of that, right? Same thing, people are running around doing chesed. Let me do chesed to this guy, let me do chesed to that guy. What's going on at home? Do they need your chesed? Yes, they do, but he's neglecting them. Why is that? Again, the same idea that a person wants to neglect things that he needs to do, he has to do, and he does things that he doesn't have to do, and he thinks he's a great person. Right? What are examples of little things that we discussed? It's an amazing thing that we have to pay attention to. He brings an example. Baruch Hashem Yirbu Samachot BeYisrael, and there is a wedding, right? There is a wedding, and the person gets an invitation, and in the invitation is an invitation for their child's wedding. They send a reply card with an envelope. Are you coming? Are you not coming? Simple as that. Many people are lazy. Sometimes they forget, they don't return. Sometimes they're just lazy. He says, if you just pay attention a little bit, it is clear that it is a lack in derech eretz, right? These people, they're working hard to make this event, to make this party, Baruch Hashem. And they sat down, they went through a list, who to invite, and they're willing to pay money for this person to eat, right? To come to their event. And all they want from you is to let them know, are you coming? So that we know how many guests we're gonna have. Not only he doesn't even answer, he doesn't even care about the other person's money for the stamp that he spent. Put it on the envelope, the return envelope. Not even that. They don't even care about that. It happens to all of us.
Yeah. The examples in there. That example.
You're right.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
I'm reading off the book. I told you, I'm not doing anything. It's all Olam Hamidot. It's all Olam Hamidot. I might throw some things here and there to wake people up, but no. It's all here.
Relative problem.
It is. I'm telling you, we all have this issue. It's very, very real. He says, people ask to borrow something from us, or they need something from you, and we forget. Especially in this day and age, we forget. We're so busy, we forget. And sometimes we borrow something from someone or money, and we forget to pay back. Oh, this one is even worse. It's gezer. This is literally stealing, because after a while you forget, he forgets, and we all forget. And you know what? There's somebody else's money by us, and this is literally stealing. So these are the little things that people need to pay attention. I remember in yeshiva there was one boy, back then there was no cell phones, there was no iPads, He had a little piece of paper and he would write. If he would borrow a quarter from someone, he would write the person's name and write it down. Even a dime. I remember, it was my chavruta, amazing. And everything was calculated. The moment he would pay, take out the little piece of paper and cross that out, next. It's so organized. These are serious things.
The things that nobody even knows about.
Yeah, people don't pay attention. Did you know that it's a halakha that it's asur to lend money without ishtar, without writing down? It's a halakha in Shulchan Aruch, no joke. Yeah.
Even if you're gonna get it back within, let's say, an hour or two, let's say 2 days.
I don't know. You have to check it out. But I remember seeing in the Shulchan Aruch that it's a halakha that a person should not. Because you're creating a stumbling block for the person.
So,
right?
I heard once if you could be mochel them, then it's okay.
True.
So all you have to say it out loud, or you just in your own head.
You could say it probably in your own head, but you have to be mochel for real. A quarter people are mochel, but still, it's Shabbat Perutah for sure. Not to be taken lightly. He writes something amazing here. He says, we live in this world. The world, as in Sefer Kabbalah, they always say it's called Olam HaSheker. It's a world of lies. It's fake, right? You know what it is? Everybody's chasing after money. You're chasing after kavod or other ta'avot, other desires. And someone sees his friend, they're chasing after something, and they think, oh, if they're chasing after this, it must be important. And they go after him. So everyone starts following each other, and they don't know what they're following. And that's it. It's like sheep. Without stopping, without thinking, without analyzing, what am I doing? Where am I going? Where does this road lead me to? He says, the truth is, if you would stop and see that it's so empty, there's nothing there, nothing important in this world, nothing important in the next world, right? Then you will stop in your tracks. He said, the point is that if we're talking about emet, if we were looking for the truth, we were looking to see what is the correct path to go in. Number one, don't be impressed by what other people are doing. He writes, if your friends are jumping off the roof, you would jump off the roof too. He says, oh, well, wait a minute. Everybody has a frumkeit. Everybody has a good excuse. It says in Pirkei Avot, Al tifrosh min hatzibur. Don't separate yourself from everybody else. If everybody else is doing something, you should follow them. Says Rabbeinu Yonah right there in Pirkei Avot, he says that's talking about the tzibur that is going in the correct, in the emet, in the truth, and they're gathered to do something right. Ach tzibur hanote lederech ra'ah. He says if the congregation is going in the wrong, evil path, and their actions are not proper, a person should not connect himself to that congregation. And a person who separates himself from them, harezeh meshubach, this person is praiseworthy, right? Ad kan leshono. This is the end of quote from the Rabbeinu Yonah. He says, "What's the remedy? What should we do?" He says a person must stop and check to see if what my friends are doing is correct or not, right? And with that, do not follow them without thinking, right? He has to think: is this correct? Should I do this or should I not do it? Like Noach, he stopped. He didn't follow the path of the people in his generation, right? He was the single person in the whole generation of cruel, wicked people, right? And that takes strength and intelligence for a person to think and to be strong enough not to follow everybody else, not to be drawn after everybody else. That person will become a trailblazer, right? He starts the path. He starts the correct path. That what is the truth, right? It takes that strength. But if a person just looks around and sees, okay, what do my friends what will my friends think? What are they? How are they going to do this? Where are they going to go? What's going to happen to them? That's not a leader. That's a lack of leadership, and then we're just going to be like sheep, following some other sheep, right? Now he says a word of warning. That word of warning is that we have to know. There are people that they do want to do what Hashem wants them to do. They really want to do it. But the way that they're doing it is not the derech HaTorah, right? They are chot'im umachti'im umechalelei shem shamayim. They are sinning, they're causing many others to sin, and they're also desecrating Hashem's name. He says, what should we do? A person must stop in his track, true, see if it's the right thing that he's doing, and then ask the she'elah, ask Da'at Torah, ask his Rabbeim, are these the Masoret of the Torah or not? A person shouldn't be arrogant to think, no, look, come on, I'm smart enough, I know what I'm doing, I know the decision that I'm making is correct for sure. That would be a wrong attitude. Now, we find in the Torah that the Torah doesn't play favoritism, right? When our Gedolim, our great people in the generation, they did something wrong, the Torah comes down hard on them, even for small things. We're talking about small things, even for things that we think that they're small, they're minute. The Torah goes and writes very, very strongly about it. Examples are aplenty. It says in the Torah, Vayigov Hashem, this is in Parashat of the Egel HaZahav. It says, Vayigov Hashem et ha'am, al asher asu et ha'egel. Hashem plagued the nation because they made the calf. Asher asa Aharon, that Aharon made. Aharon didn't make it. We know that. We read the parasha in Parashat Kitisa. What happened there? He said, give me your gold. And Moshe comes and tells him, what did you do? He says, I have no idea. I took the gold, I threw it in the fire, this thing came out. But the Torah writes it forever. It's etched in the Torah. Asher asa Aharon. He didn't do it. By selling Yosef at Tzaddik. The Torah says that the brothers were jealous of Yosef and they sold it to him. It's not really explicit in the Torah that they made a Beit Din and they had a Pesach Halacha that Yosef must die. And the truth is, it's not even clear in the Torah that they sold him. But okay, one place it says that they sold him. But if you really read the Parashiot, it's a very, very interesting machloket between Rishonim who actually sold Yosef. But at the end of the day, it's written as the brothers. He says, "Ani Yosef Hashem lechartem oti," that you sold me. But if you look in the Torah, it doesn't explicitly say it. Our Chachamim say also by we had it before in by Reuven. It says Vayishkav et Bilha Pilegesh Aviv. That Reuven was Vayishkav. He slept with Bilha Pilegesh Aviv. If that would be the case, how would he still be alive? For lesser actions, they would kill people back then. And if Reuven would have done that, in actuality, it would be impossible for him to be alive, let alone be part of the Shevatim. Our Chachamim say Masachet Shabbat. This is a couple of pages already, Masachet Shabbat, that deals with this. It says, Kol ha'omer Reuven chata. Whoever says that Reuven sinned, eino ela to'eh. He's mistaken. He's absolutely mistaken. And the Gemara over there goes on with other people, the children of Eli Kohen, the children of Shemuel HaNavi, David HaMelech, Shlomo. I'm telling you, the list goes on. What's going on? What is the Torah teaching us? What's the Torah teaching us? The Torah is teaching us that a person has to accept the responsibility, full responsibility for their actions. Don't look for excuses. Right? Don't look for excuses. Oh, he made me do it. It's not my fault. It was the circumstances. No. Accept the truth and admit to the truth. Right? We live, unfortunately, in a generation that everyone, points a finger to some other thing, and they come up with the best lies possible, right? Just to get themselves off the hook, right? Just to justify their actions, right? Everything that they do, every wrong thing that they do, they could come up with incredible claims that not only it wasn't me, or the famous pleading insanity, what do you want from me? He says, Ruach Shetut, it wasn't me, it was insanity, it wasn't his fault. Or the latest things that they come up with, it was the parents' fault, it was the surrounding, it was, the upbringing that he had, poor thing, he was bullied in school, it was this, it was that. He says the truth is, this is not Torah, right? Everyone has a free will. Everyone has an obligation to fix themselves and to overcome their Yetzer Hara. And if not, it's a chet. The Torah is telling us this. If a person stumbles, he has to understand that he stumbled, he sinned, and now he has to do teshuvah, right? And that is what is important in the eyes of Hashem. What happened? By this week's parasha Vayechi, Yaakov Avinu gets to Yehuda. He says, Yehuda, ata yeducha achecha, right? Yehuda, your brothers have to praise you. Kelei HaYakar says, because you, Yehuda, you admitted when it came to the actions of Tamar, right? Just like that's what happened, right? Yehuda, no problem, he did it, right? And he says, Yehuda, I tell you, just like over there, you were modeh. Now your brothers will be modeh to you. They're going to be modeh to you for what? That you're the king. That you're the king, and nobody else is going to go against you. And that's the truth. That's what happened. Yehuda became the king, and he was the how do we say it? He was the default king. That's what he was.
So he wasn't supposed to be. If he wouldn't admit, he was not.
He would have lost it. Yehuda's thing, Rav Chaim Shmulevitz says, Yehuda's attribute is his achrayut. He's accepting responsibility for his actions, and that is kingship. That's royalty.
But then David HaMelech
he accepted. What happened?
No,
as soon as
what I'm saying is that he already brought Mashiach, and then he admitted. So how is he going to be
the king?
Yes.
Because David HaMelech, we see his attribute that he had all along was this. All along. And that's what actually the Navi said. Now, from now on, the kingship is only going to, it is from Yehuda, but it's going to be limited to the dynasty of David. And because he showed that he's worthy of it. He says, naturally, it's a nature of a human being. We try to shun responsibility off of our shoulder, right? We try to put all of our problems, our issues on other people. Imagine, a person is walking and he stumbles on something. Right away, he's going to say, who put that thing there? Right? That's the first reaction. Baba, look, open your eyes. Where are you going? No, no, no. Someone put this. It wasn't supposed to be there. Or when we lose someone, who took it? Right? That's his first reaction. Who took it? You lost it, right? He was the cause. In many of these cases, he himself was the cause. But that's how it is. That Gemara in Masechet Shabbat that we mentioned, it starts with a Mishnah. The Mishnah says, it's talking about on Shabbat, a person's animals. There are certain things that they could carry. There are certain things that they cannot carry. Go out into Rishut Rabim where there is no eruv. There are certain things that they could have. There are certain things, whatever is for their own protection, they could have. Something extra, they can't have. Something that's to beautify them, they can't have. So it says, a para, a cow, cannot have this nice little jewelry hanging between its two horns. Okay, that's what it says over there in the Mishnah. It says, Parato Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, the cow of Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, he was the Nasi, he was the head of the Sanhedrin. Okay? He went out with a Retzuah Sheben Karnaha, with this thing between its horns, Shelo Birson Chachamim, against the will of the Chachamim. Right away, in first thing in the Gemara, it says, Lo Shelo Haita. The cow wasn't Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah's, it was the neighbors. But being that Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah didn't stop them, didn't tell them, hey, what are you guys doing? It's Shabbat, you can't have your cow walk out like this. He didn't stop them. It was written, imagine, forever in the Mishnah, it's written under Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah's name.
Wow.
So then the Gemara goes into all of that whole thing
Better
that
not to be great.
yeah, you have to be careful. You have to be careful. So right there, the Gemara adds, it says, whoever has the ability to stop the people in his household from committing a sin, and he doesn't, he's going to be caught for that sin. It's going to be written under his name. And a person who has the ability, he's even more powerful. He has the ability to stop the people in his city. That means people will listen to him. And he doesn't do it. He doesn't go out and tell them, hey, stop. It's going to be written, all of their sins are going to be written under him. And a person, the country, and then he says a person who has the ability to stop the world from sinning, and he doesn't, all of the sins of the world are going to be written up for him. What do we see? It's not only that it's a responsibility that we carry, it's a responsibility for other people's actions also that we have to carry. It has to do with it, correct? Right? That means if I am able to tell people to stop doing what they're doing, they're wrong, I have to do it.
Like what kind of wrong?
It could be any averot. Listen, like Lashon Hara, you're not going to be able to stop people from saying Lashon Hara.
Yeah.
Already for years, the Rabbeinu Asher writes, the Rosh we mentioned before. It's something that, but you try whatever you can. Baruch Hashem, there's a huge awareness already. Chavetz Chaim started the awareness, and now the Chavetz Chaim Heritage Foundation. That sort of a thing. A person who has the ability to create and to do such a thing, and he does it, Baruch Hashem, Ashra v'Ashra Chelko. But that takes responsibility, achrayut. That a person accepts that achrayut upon their shoulders. He says like this: if a person doesn't perfect himself first, right? Besides his own responsibility on himself, he is shunning the responsibility which he has on his household and all those around him, right? Because the more a person perfects himself, automatically, like Rabbi Yisrael Salanter said, automatically it's going to have a rippling effect on those around him. When he makes himself better and better and better, it will affect other people around him as well. So comes out that all of the bechira, all of the free will that a person has to choose, he's not only doing for himself, it's forever. It's for himself, for his children, for his children's children, forever and ever. And the Torah continues so much in Parashat Vayishlach to tell you the family of Esav. Aluf Teman, Aluf Omar, Aluf this, Aluf this, Aluf this. It says the Pesukim are screaming. He says, look how much this family was. And where are they now? Where are they? Where is the whole family of Esav? What happened to them? Where are those families? Where are those names? You know why? Because Esav, the head of the family, was a Rasha. But if Esav would have fought against his Yitzhara, he would become a tzaddik. Instead of Aluf Teman, it would be Harav Hagaon Teman. Right? It would be forever. Forever. You have the Rambam. Look at this. right? You
Even
still have the
bigger
Maimon
than-
family.
Bigger than
You know.
Yaakov, they say.
Right? It would have been bigger. Yes, that would have been bigger. So, okay, so that's up to here for now. Zat Hashem.